So let's look at the question on the board as regard to dimensional analysis. Right, so it says the period T of oscillation of a simple pendulum depend on the length L and acceleration G, and ask us to determine the exact form of the dependence. So I'm going to be showing you the steps on what to do. First of all, let's take the parameters. So step 1 is to take the parameters, right? And before then, there's something I would love for you to understand. When it said something depends on something, when it said a variable depends on something, it simply means that variable is directly proportional to whatever it was given. So if you watch, it said the period, let me just show you what it means. It means the period T depends, that's directly proportional on what? On the length and the what? And the acceleration due to gravity. That's the first word there, right? You can see the first word. It said the period T depends on the length and the acceleration. Yeah, that's G. It asks us to determine the exact form of what we have here. That's the first thing. So now you will see that we have 3 parameters. Period, which is T in terms of time, right? Remember, we have 3 basic fundamental quantities: length, mass, and time. These are 3 basic fundamental quantities that we are always working with, right? So the first word there is the period. That's the first thing we got. The second, we got the length, right? And we know that length is the same thing as what? As L, as dimensional form, right? And then G, which is acceleration. We have acceleration. From our video, we know that acceleration is what? Is velocity over time, right? I've done an explanation to all of this video, the previous video. Maybe I'll leave the link of that video on the description box of this video, so you can get acquainted with what we're doing. So for that, velocity naturally was what? Was LT raised to the power minus 1 over the time here, T. And if we get that correct, it is LT raised to the power of minus 2. That's dimension for velocity. So first of all, we get all the parameters. We have T in terms of time, period in terms of time. We got what? Our length in terms of L, and acceleration as this, right? Step number 2, we go back to the parameters we're having. It says the period depends on what? On the length and the acceleration, right? In math, we know that this proportionality sign means we are going to take it up and change it to an equal to sign and then introduce a constant. So for this, it simply means we are going to be doing T is equal to KLG, right? But then let's assume that K is equals to 1. Let's assume that K is very small. So let's assume it's equal to 1. Our T is going to be equal to what? LG, right? The step 2, that's for step 1. All of these are for step 1. Our step 2 is that we are going to fix our index parameter. An index for the right hand side, fix our index of X and Y. Fix 2 indices, right? So let me just put here like this. Might not be that straight, but it's manageable. Fine. Fix 2 indices for what we have here, right? Fix the indices for this one. So with this, we're going to have T is equal to our L raised to power X, and then G raised to the power of Y, right? Having done that, step 3 is to replace what we have there with the dimensional parameters. So step 3, we replace with dimensions, right? Dimension parameters, right? So what do we do? Our normal T here, the dimension for our period is T. So for the first one, we have T is equal to the dimension for length is L. So come here and put L raised to the power of what? X. But then the dimension for acceleration G is LT raised to the power of minus 2. So instead of putting G, I'll come here and put LT raised to the power of minus 2, or raised to the power of what? Y here, right? So I only replaced the values we have there with their dimensions, right? Then what do we do next? Let's look at this. for that, we try and open the bracket using indices formula. So for that, we have that t is equal to L raised to the power of x times, if you want, this is just L raised to the power of 1, just 1. 1 times y here, we have L raised to the power of y, right? Times t has raised to the power of minus 2. So minus 2 times y, I got minus 2y. That's by opening the bracket, by factorizing the bracket. Now let's compare. But we see we have 2L here, right? In indices, when the bases are equal and we have a multiplicative sign, it means we are going to add the powers, right? So what do I mean? I mean that this t here is equal to, since the bases are equal, I pick 1, and there's a times here, I add both powers. So I have x plus y. Now times what? Just t raised to the power minus 2y. Right? Next, we compare. So let's compare. By comparing, right? Let's take the t, comparing t, right? I'll just clean this part of the board and then we'll continue from here. Before we compare t, you discover that on the right hand side, I have two values. I have L and I have t. But the one on the left hand side, I just have one value, which is t, right? If you watch, t here, t here. So I'm going to compare both of them. So I can say t, for comparing t, is equal to what? T. So for this one, there's just raised to the power of 1 here. The other side, I have minus 2y. So if t takes off t, I have from indices though. From indices, you should know this from indices. I am left with 1 is equal to minus 2y. So what do? I divide both sides by 2, right? Such that if 2 takes off 2, I have y is equal to minus 1 over 2. By switching this one here, if I divide by minus 2, all of them, you should know this by now. It's just simple math, right? So in case you don't know, you can leave it to the comment section. I can re-explain better. So we have the value of y by comparing t, right? Next, let's compare L. So comparing L, what do we have? Do we have L at the left hand side? No. So to invoke L, I can say for the left hand side, let L be raised to power 0, right? Because anything raised to power 0 is just 1. So I'm revoking L. Is equal to, at the right hand side, I have L is equal to what? X plus y. Since I have both L, I will cancel both of them, right? Giving me for their index that x plus y is equal to 0. But then I have y as minus 1 over 2. So I can substitute y for minus 1 over 2 here. That gives me x minus 1 over 2 equal to 0. If I collect like terms, my x is equal to what? 1 over 2. Therefore, we can say yx is 1 over 2, y is minus 1 over 2. That's what we're looking for. So we are using their dimension parameters to get the value of x and y. So that we get the value, we substitute the value of x and y and then perform the operation. So having gotten this, I'm going to clean this part off and then we'll continue from here. Now, having known the value of x and y, which is their indices, the index, we can now say, going back to t is equal to L raised to power x, g raised to power y is the same thing as t equal to what? L raised to power x. The value of x is what? 1 over 2. 1 over 2 times g raised to power what? Minus 1 over 2. Remember from when we're doing it, we have a constant k here. Now we can fix the constant k since we've gotten the value of x and y. The full equation becomes t equal to k L raised to power 1 over 2 times g minus 1 over 2. Now for indices, in indices, we know for indices that if we have a raised to power 1 over 2, this 1 over 2 means square root of a, right? I've done this on an indices class. Maybe I'll share that on the link as well for you to understand. So we have t is equal to k root l, right? Times, I'm seeing a minus here, it comes an inverse, times 1 over what? Root g, right? Because of this 1, if I put 1, it becomes 1 over g raised to power 1 over 2, right? So if I take the index or transform this, it becomes square root of g. That's how I got that there. So I have to take this off. I don't need this. Right, so let's continue. So for that, we're going to use everything. This will be over 1. So I can, should in case I multiply, t becomes k root l over root g. Right? Remember, in SOD, when we have a numerator carrying a square root and a denominator carrying a square root, we can make them one root. So for that, our final answer becomes k root l over g. Very simple answer, right? So our final answer, t is equal to k big root of l over g. That's as simple as it gets. So just go through the question, go through the steps. I made them very easy. Go through them. In case you have a question, you can leave them on the comment section. And of course, make sure you like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.